I have pulled a couple of cards here to get some idea of the direction we are going, the general energy that's happening to us right now, not only here in the United States, but everywhere. And these two cards popped out. The Page of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles. Yes, this one, the page came out first, and then the Knight. Now, these cards are from Spain, hence you have the titles down here at the bottom in Spanish. And they're the only cards I've used. So we have Sota de Copas, Page of Cups. And there's a fish in that cup. It's pretty interesting. And then we have Caballero de Oro. Oros is gold, but it's, sometimes this is called coins, but I like to call it a pentacle. So it's the Knight of Pentacles. So that's what we have. Okay, so now if we first of all just focus on the bottom back part of these cards. Under the page we have the sea, flowing little waves going on there, which very simple, mellow energy. And here we have a field, rolling hills of a field with the trees in the background and the little mountains in the background in the left side, which makes sense. Pentacles is earth and cups is water. Those are the elements of these two cards, water and earth. And this is the 5-star pentacle, and it's an old symbol. It's been around for centuries, and it's usually defined as a sacred space. It's in reference to earth, but it's like anything that it may be sacred. And that's what this knight is holding. He's holding a pentacle. The field here is empty. There's nothing happening here. There are no flowers growing. There's nothing going on. It's almost like waiting. And in reality, this knight is waiting along with this horse. And here we have this page who the water symbolizes emotions, feelings, and it's a flowing, both of these images are in motion. They're fluid, but they're like a calming flow. It's not like stagnant or a stormy or violent flow, which is interesting. Now, interesting to note, let me fix this camera here. The sky on both of these cards is interesting too. The Page of Cups has a light baby blue sky. I know you can't really see the colors very well in this video, but yeah, the color of this sky is like a baby blue. Take my word for it. And the color of the sky for the Knight of Pentacles is yellow. Now, the baby blue makes sense on this card. You know, there's like water flowing, easy flowing water. There's easy movement. There's like nice little curves going through that water. It has a very calming effect. And you have a baby blue, light baby blue sky. And then you have like a little fish sticking out of a cup, which, oh, how funny, how cute. What's going on with that? And here, it's very, you know, it's very nice. And it's actually, there's nothing negative really about this card. And there's really nothing negative about this one either. Here, the sky is yellow, just like the pentacle. The pentacle is yellow. And, well, I mean, you know, for me, the yellow on this card, because this knight is waiting, and because this looks like it could be a beginning, right? The fields have not been planted. They're ready there for something to be done with them. They could represent just life in general, right? It's like a new beginning because of the yellow. I would say the yellow sky. I would say that maybe it could mean the early morning, or the yellow after the sun rises. So it's a beginning. It's the beginning of something. Something's going to start. Okay. And here, something's being told. Another fish. Because there's this fish. And the fish, the fish is talking to this page. Look at the page's expression. He's got a nice expression. And the fish is talking to him. Why is the fish talking to this young man? Right? And why does that young man have that strange looking hat on his head? But he's dressed very nicely, and he is a page. These are the court cards. Both of these people are in the courts. These are medieval kind of symbolic people, you know, the knight and the page, right? And the page was usually, you know, he was usually the young boy in the castle. He was probably the son of a brother of a king, or an uncle of a king, or a knight that has served him well. It could be his son. Usually those were the pages in the court. And they were young boys who, the whole purpose of them being in the court is so that they could grow up and become knights, learn how to fight and defend the king, fight for the king. And so the page was always around the castle, right? He knew a lot of stuff about the daily life of the royals in the castle, because he came across them daily, because he lived there too. But he's a young boy. He's a young, innocent boy. He's not like a, you know, mature like this knight is. He's a young boy, so he hears a lot of things. He sees a lot of things. He doesn't always know the significance of what he hears or sees, but he knows a lot. He might not even be aware of how much he really does know, because he's so young and innocent. So the fish in this card represents Pisces. And there's a whole debate if we're still in the era of Pisces, or if we're in the era of Aquarius, you know. But Jesus lived in the age of Pisces. You know, that's the age we've been living in. And I think it's like 1,200 years or something like that, 1,500 years for each cycle of each new astrological sign that changes. I'm not an astrologer. I'm not going to explain how that works. You're going to have to do some research on that on your own, but it's kind of complicated. But there is a debate if we are in the age of Pisces or if we are in the age of Aquarius. I think we're still in the age of Pisces, but we might have like another 100, 150 years, 200 years to go to transition into Aquarius. But the transition's already occurring. Somehow, that's what many people say, astrologers and whatever. Okay, so but Pisces, the age of Pisces, is the age of new religions, is the age of the birth of modern man. It's the age of new philosophical trends. So whatever we have learned of the past recent history, and I'm thinking like 500-600 years past, and the beginning of the Christian church, all of that is part of the Pisces energy. And so it's kind of like man becoming, the idea, one of the ideas is that humans becoming more aware of themselves as an individual versus the tribe unit. And also man's ability to function on his own within the environment, just becoming more aware of that and being able to work with that. So it's an interesting thing that this fish is talking to this young man in terms of like what I'm wanting to ask, or what I asked the cards, which was basically, with all the craziness going on, and what's going to happen, in what direction are we going, what's going on, right? And so I got these two cards. So I'm looking at this page. Pages are usually considered messengers. The message here that this page is receiving is a message that's from the past. It's a message that's always been received, but not completely heard or acknowledged by humans. And that message is, turmoil, wars, confrontations, debates, overtaking of other people's things, but at the same time being aware that we do this and trying to stop doing this, basically to stop doing those kind of things. And it all comes through to us through stories. So the fish is just telling the page all these stories, hey, this had happened, and there was this kingdom, and it was called Egypt, and it fell, and this and this and this happened, and then there was this other kingdom, Mesopotamia, and it fell because all these things happened. So it's kind of like a history, right? Like a history lesson. So the message I think is, let's look at our history to kind of understand where we are repeating and perhaps taking the same wrong paths again, right? Because of all the turmoil that we're feeling now, we're involved in 2 wars. There might even be 2 more wars coming up. I mean, it's kind of a little crazy right now, but it's always been crazy. That's just the thing. But we're entering the age of Aquarius. We're leaving the age of Pisces. So that means that we're going to be going through some transitional awareness kind of thing where we might be trying to change how we deal with things, how we deal with conflict, how we, but we're still not sure. And there's a lot of debate going on about this. There's a lot of talk. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody. The news, the politicians, us, regular folk, we're all talking about it. We're all wondering what's going to happen. And we're all waiting. This knight is waiting. He's waiting for guidance. We're all trying to figure out what we're going to do. What are we going to do? And a leader. We need a leader. We don't have a leader. This knight who has the pentacle, which says here, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to start working the land, working our energy on this earth, working our environment, working our life, our new life. It's a new beginning. This is a new beginning. But we need a leader. We need somebody to lead us, and we don't have any leaders right now. We don't have somebody who can lead everybody. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody. Men, women, folks from 18 to 88, 98. Everybody, in the sense of doesn't matter what you do to make a living. Doesn't matter what your ideals or religions are. Somebody who can lead us all into this new frontier that we need to go into to leave all this craziness behind. See, it's all flowing. The fish is coming in from the past here from the left and then telling the page all this stuff. And then the knight is facing this way towards a future. And holding the pentacle, the sacred space. What are we going to do with this sacred space? And what is the sacred space? The sacred space, in my opinion, is our life on this planet, on Earth. That is the sacred space for me. Yeah. That's what's going on here. Now, what is it exactly that we need to change? What is it that... There's a lot of things. People are talking about a lot of things. There are a lot of ideas coming out. Whole bunch. But maybe one of the things we need to consider, in my opinion, just because here the reading is so strong about the earth being a sacred space, and it's like flowing. It belongs to itself. The earth and the waters, they don't belong to us. Yet we buy and sell them as if they were ours. And maybe the American Indians, the early peoples, the American Indians specifically I'm thinking about, had the right idea of non-ownership of the land. The land belonged to no one. The land was for everyone. But somehow we've gotten into this ugly little habit in the PCs era that, it was okay to own land, to own people, to own things. How many people were not enslaved? Whole tribes were enslaved in the past. For example, the Egyptians, the pharaohs, they enslaved whole tribes. The Jewish tribe, the Israelites, they were all, as a tribe, slaves. And like them, there were many other tribes and other peoples that the same thing happened to them, including the modern slaves of the Americas, through the 17th and 18th and 19th centuries. So some bad stuff's gone down, crazy stuff, and it's all kind of been because of ownership. These wars that we're having right now, they're about religion, they're about ownership. I have a right to own this land because I have this religion and blah, blah, blah. Or, we've been living here forever, it's our ancestors' land, it's our land, and it belongs to us, and blah, blah, blah. And maybe that's that way of thinking about it and looking at land. The land which does not really belong to us. You know, we need to kind of change that. And with that, perhaps uh, get rid of a lot of these nationalistic ownership ideals. You know, the United States, our country, our land from east to west. And, you know, it's no, why? I mean, maybe that worked in the 19th century when we were trying to find nation states and we felt the need to have nationalisms. But that was like 200, 300, 400 years ago. And we've evolved a lot since then. And a lot of us don't feel so patriotic about a nation state flag thing. And we're becoming more towards naturalists, protecting the earth, watching our resources, making sure everybody's doing well, which means you're not going to have super wealthy people. You see, that's another thing. Why do we have super multi-billionaires and then you have people barely working really hard to survive? It doesn't make any sense. You know? We need to change all of that. And we're talking about all of those things today. We talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. But we need some good leadership, I think. And that's what's happening with this reading. Okay, guys, so my name is Lucy, and this is Lucy de Antigua Tarot. And Antigua, because I'm from Guatemala, Antigua, Guatemala. And I've been doing tarot readings for a while now, but I did stop for a few years and took a break, and I'm kicking back in. But I'm not doing zodiac readings anymore. I'm going to just be doing event interpretations of the cards based on the visual aspect of the card and the symbolism of the images in the card and the context of the messages of the card and a little bit of the history of some of these messages and images that come in these cards. So thanks for visiting. Hope you liked the reading. Take good care, and we'll see you next time.